Hello people, what's up? Welcome to a new tutorial here on Patreon, and this is just a quickie one, kind of showing the asset I just put up, the nature asset scans. So yeah, let's see. So if you go to the page, you can just click download nature asset pack here. If you're on the tier 7 or tier 10, you'll have access to it. If you're not, then you won't. So yeah, it's gonna appear in your downloads folder of choice. So I'm just going to open it up real quick, like that. See if it can load. Usually when you work with photo scans and stuff like that, they have insanely high texture quality. Um, like they are usually 8K when you export them from the program, so they're gonna be basically impossible to work with. And when I basically thought I was done with this whole thing, I realized that the VRAM usage was at 9 gigabytes. So I have now gone in and baked all the textures to a lower res. It's kind of just the same. It still looks really good close up. Not close up, but it works really well. And they are really light to work with. So they should run fairly well on any computer, really. So you shouldn't be afraid of duplicating some of these around. And some of them I haven't really messed with the topology too much. I've just kind of let the detail be as much as you want. And if you want to take a scan, if you think that 72,000 is too much for your scene, that's totally fine. You can go into mesh, clean up decimate geometry, and here you can put in a value of choice. So you can do 0.1, and that's gonna pull it down to 7,000. It still looks pretty well, pretty good. But if you want to have that high quality, um, you still get the option. So yeah, that's a nice way to lower the resolution of these even more. Let's see if I can, yeah, bring that back. So I've gone ahead and color corrected most of these. Oh, this one should not be connected. Never mind. So yeah, they should be pretty straightforward. You should be able to just go in and copy and paste these around and kind of mix and match them together fairly easily. And this is in 4K rendering on the widescreen in not Cycles X, so it's not going to be very optimal. So let's say I have a scene here with my little character, and I want to add some forestation or something. So what I would do is open up this file in another project file, and you can just kind of copy whatever you want. So I'm just going to take this ground plane here and pull it in to the scene here. And let's see. If I just go into render mode real quick. Yeah, it looks pretty alright in my opinion. And you can hit Alt D and copy these around, and they'll kind of merge together pretty well. So you can do that. And if you want to, then you can just hit Control J to join them together. Let's see if I can turn on the screencast keys here. And you can, for example, select a face here and just pull it up using proportional editing. And now you have a little hill. Oh, and now he is standing on that. And yeah, if you want to have some more stuff in the background, you can go in and let's see, Shift D this time, and I'm going to go into mesh, cleanup, decimate geometry, and I'm going to do 0.1 because you don't really notice that detail back here. So you can get away with a lot lower resolution. I'm just going to pull these up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. It looks pretty good. And I've also included some of these things here. that you can put in a particle system. These are not photoscan, these are hand modeled by me, so you can, they're really light to work with, so you can just scatter all of these in a particle system. So I can just copy these in, for example, and I'm just going to move these into a collection, calling them particles for grass. And let's say I want to have some grass, extra grassiness here, so I'm going to add a new particle system, going to make it hair, and let's go into render as collection particles for grass. And yeah, now you have these little thingies that you can scatter on top. So I think I can link particle systems. Maybe I cannot. If you want to duplicate it, you can just select it here. You can name this grass, and you'll have that. So then you can increase the number of them, or you can add a texture here, for example. So you can want to have even more variety. You can make a new texture, make it clouds, maybe bring the size up a little bit, and in the influence, uncheck general time and check density. And now that is going to affect the density of them. So in the color ramp, you can, for example, set these to constant. So it's either going to be black or white, either grass or no grass, and you can customize that as much as you want. Yeah, so these particles also have a particle info, so every new particle is going to have slight different saturation and brightness value. So if I want to bring up the brightness, I can just do that like so. And if you want to tweak any of these colors, like of this grass material, you can hit you can search for hue and saturation, and here you can tweak the brightness of them. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, just because why not? And you can change the saturation of it as well. All right, that's the little particle system, and there are a bunch of assets here, and this place is basically a bunch of overlays, I call them. I don't know the actual word for it, but these are just like the tops of some of these scans. So you can kind of just slide these around anywhere, and it's gonna work. So these sticks here, I can just kind of slide in like that. And yeah, because I changed the color of these, I can also go in here and kind of match them a little like that. Let's see. Now we have a bunch of sticks in our scene. Yeah. And what else do we got? I have a ton of stuff. We have this, which is a combination of a few of them. It's a big pile of stuff. It's a lot like Greeble assets. You can just kind of put them anywhere, and they don't really make too much sense if you look very up close, but they kind of work in a big scale environment. So just gonna match these to the rest. And yeah, let's take these rocks in here. And I've meshed all of these assets to kind of bend down at the edges, so you don't have like this going on, like stuff pulling up, which can be a little annoying. So yeah, they should just work when you put them in anywhere. All right, where do I want my rocks? Maybe here. Yeah. And tweak the color if you want to. Make them a little more greenish. 0.56. All right, and if you've ever tried photoscanning trees, you know that it's kind of impossible, but I've went ahead and photo scanned a trunk here. So often you won't see the whole tree in a shot if you're doing like this. So it can kind of work. And it's not perfect, but it's at least something. And you can, for example, go in here and hit Shift Set, and scale it to make it a little more skinny. Yeah, got some customization you can do there. And just another like random tip if you're doing forest stuff. Let's say I just light this using a simple sunlight here. It's not really optimal for anything really. Just gonna add a nice bit of sky in there. Like that. And I'm gonna make the sun strength like 15 or something. And I'm gonna make it a little bit orange. Yeah, so if you want to make your forest scene a little more alive, you can add in a PNG of a tree, for example, like this, and just kind of put it off screen. And you see that it casts these really nice shadows on everything. And that can kind of help to sell there being a larger space than it really is. And you can probably put these on top these tree trunks, because they would technically have some shadows coming down here if they would have a bunch of leaves and stuff. Yeah, look at that. And what else would I want to add in? I got these road thingies here. I just walked and scanned in this little path. So I mapped it to a curve, and you can like kind of go in here and make a little path through the road or through the forest, whatever, if you want to. And I'm gonna just pull this up a little bit here. And if you want to, you can subdivide them to add more control points, which can be kind of helpful. You got these moving up and down thingies here. It's a little hill. So just move both of these so he's in the center of them. And a tip is to go in here and make these wire. I have so many custom keybinds. If you don't know where it is, it's here in the object properties and invisibility. Or no, it's in viewport display here. Display as something. So I just mapped this to be Shift E. So I can just click on any object and make them wireframes, so I can work here and have them not be distracting. So for this scene in particular, I'd probably want to have this kind of going down a little bit so it merges with the ground. Yeah. Look at that. We now have a little road in our scene. Cool. And you can really go nuts with this. Pull in other assets if you want to. Yeah. Hopefully this is going to be helpful. I also have some pots and plants here. Yeah. You can just kind of go nuts. Maybe I should just make a whole scene using these. Alright. I'll put this rock thing here. Yeah, that really breaks it up a little bit. Yeah. Alright, and I like this one a lot. It's kind of high quality. And it's pretty close up, so you can put these kind of near the camera to get more detail near the ground. Yeah. This one is really high poly. So you can, yeah, I recommend when you've like designed your whole scene and when it's done and all that, Um, oh wait, this is actually rendering while I'm talking. Just gonna set this to 20 instead, so it's not gonna take up a bunch of GPU computing. What was I talking about? Yeah, so when you're done with the scene, you can just I'd recommend to decimate them, like the objects further away from the camera. Yeah. So I'll take this guy and these thingies here and just kind of put them in the back here. Yeah. It's a little much. Maybe, yeah, like that. I don't know. Probably gonna have to photo scan a few hedges and like masses of trees or something. Not really digging that for this particular scene. To kind of just build up the background a little bit. Maybe I'll duplicate this up to kind of get a large mountainy, rocky kind of feel. Yeah, but kind of go nuts, do whatever, and yeah, hopefully these assets can come in handy or come in hand. I don't know. Will you say that? I don't know. Who cares? See ya later.